Now I'd like to welcome Dr. Edward Andujar, a research scientist and my good friend, with us on our episode of What's Up Live Farm today. Dr. Andujar, I know that you get lots of questions from our LPG and IBOs, so we would like to go over some of those frequently asked questions from the field, as well as some of the questions that have been submitted directly to you this week for this webinar. Let's begin. Question 1. IBOs are always asking how Laminine will support various health conditions. Can you give us some insights?
So, how does Laminine work? Remember, this is the extract. A cell, normal cell, as we age, starts to go back. That cell, from whatever organ it comes from, has what are called adult stem cells. So the adult stem cells are in all of our organs. So let's just say this is a liver condition. Then the adult stem cells that are specific to the liver are there. They're for all of our organs. But the problem is all adult stem cells are asleep. They're dormant. They don't do anything unless they are awakened and stimulated by the FGF. So the purpose of Laminine and the FGF, being the extract, is to wake up these stem cells.
Question 2. We sometimes hear about people having certain reactions after taking Laminine. Is this normal?
Yes, it's actually very normal. What happens is, sometimes when you take antibiotics for an infection, the antibiotics go into the bloodstream. A's for antibiotics. It goes into the bloodstream and it starts fighting the bacteria. You remember when you were sick, really sick, and you took those antibiotics and you started with chills, shaking uncontrollably? That is a reaction between the antibiotics and the bacteria. It is a normal reaction. It is a good reaction. It is the war between the antibiotics and the bacteria. It has to happen. Otherwise, the antibiotics won't work. So going through those chills is part of what the antibiotics are supposed to do. Now, if you have an old football injury, and let's just say your knees, and you had very bad knees and had to get surgery and all this other stuff. Well, when you start taking Laminine, it takes you back to that injury to try to repair that area. And remember, Laminine FGF repairs and rejuvenates the cells. But there's a memory of these injuries and problems that will rise up when you first start taking Laminine, especially if you take a lot. Because if you take a lot, like a lot of people do in the beginning, then you're going to stir up a lot of adult stem cells to do a lot of work in that area. So that is what we call retracing. Your body is retracing back to when you had that problem. And so it intensifies the problem once again.
And how do you take all of the LPGN products?
When a doctor tells you to take something twice a day, what he means is to take it every 12 hours. 3 times a day is every 8 hours. But we, just say 2 or 3 times a day because it's easier for you to understand and remember. But to get the maximum effect of Laminine or any of the other products, you must take it on a 12-hour schedule. So, half the day, only half the day, the other half the day. So, what I do, and what you should do, is take it first thing in the morning, 7 a.m., and then you take it at 7 p.m.
We always get this question. It is with regards to taking Laminine during pregnancy. Is it safe for women who are pregnant or nursing to take Laminine?
All right, pregnant women, we always say, should not take Laminine during pregnancy.
How can Laminine help with brain conditions?
The neurons in the brain that go in many different directions have a focus that starts many of these conditions. But then once again, that focus is in one spot, and a lot of the cells around it get damaged. So once again, Laminine with the FGF helps by stimulating the stem cells of the brain. The adult stem cells get stimulated, they wake up, and then they utilize the cells that have been damaged around that focus. I always say around because these are normal cells. Remember, Laminine does not treat the condition. It only wakes up the adult stem cells to repair the normal cells that have been damaged.
How does Laminine help with hormones?
Women, of course, have ovaries where the egg is made. In the ovaries, we also release hormones, female hormone, the famous female hormone, estrogen and progesterone. Those have to be in a balance. All hormones in the body have what's called a feedback mechanism. The feedback mechanism works from the actual organ that makes the hormones, and then it's a feedback because it reads back to the brain. The hormones do what they're supposed to do or not do, and then that feedback message goes to the brain, and then the brain tells the organ to release the hormones. But there has to be a balance. It can't be too much one way or the other. So, if there is damage, once again, in the brain, or damage where the hormones are going to be released, okay, then things are going to go off whack. So, once again, what we want is that the adult stem cells that exist either for the brain or for the organ that's releasing it, because it could also be, say, the thyroid in your neck. Again, that releases the thyroid hormones. So, again, Laminine with the FGF comes in to stimulate the hormones of either the organs, that being, in this case, the ovaries or the thyroid, or from the brain where the feedback mechanism is also centered.
How do the ingredients in Laminine Omega-3 Plus help unclog arteries and help with circulation?
Okay, so how can Omega help? First of all, the clogging starts in the walls when the oxidation occurs. What is oxidation? Think of it this way. Bite an apple, put it down, wait 5 minutes, it turns brown. That's oxidation. Okay, that happens in our vessels and in our bodies. as we age. So, that's the first thing. So here's some of the clogging. Hamburgers, French fries, pizza, that's the LDL. What is LDL? LDL is the bad cholesterol. You can think of L as lethal and HDL, H as healthy, because HDL is a good cholesterol. Don't know how to, they didn't teach me how to spell hard. Okay, healthy. So, then on top of that, what do you get? Well, 40 to 60% of the atherosclerotic plaque is calcium. Calcium starts clogging the vessel. Now you can see that blood is going to have a little bit of problem getting through here. And especially in your 40s and 50s, when high blood pressure pushing from the outside can help clog by squeezing the vessel. And then, mind you, if you have diabetes, then you have even a bigger problem, because then you have too much sugar in the blood. And sugar is the largest molecule in the blood. So then, eventually, the high blood pressure pushes, and we have the clogging of the vessel. Okay. So how do the ingredients of omega help this whole situation? Very easy. First of all, we started with the oxidation. Coenzyme Q10 comes in, it's a powerful antioxidant, and takes away the oxidation by cleaning out the free radicals. Then the good cholesterol, 3, 6, and 9, come in and take away, they have the HDL, the good cholesterol, and they take away the bad cholesterol. And then very unique vitamin K2, not to be confused with K1, because K1 is purely a coagulant. This is a mild coagulant, but what it does well is that it does not allow the calcium to lay in the arteries, and takes that calcium, puts it in your teeth and your bones. So vitamin K2 is great for you, because you're taking calcium and you want to make sure that that calcium goes to the bones and not the arteries. And that is exactly what vitamin K2 does. Takes away the calcium. Stops that calcium from depositing in the vessels. And last but not least, coenzyme Q10 helps with the high blood pressure, which then has cleaned out your arteries. And you have voila.
Well, thank you again, Doctor, for being on the call with us tonight. We look forward to having you on again in July.
Well, thank you for having me. And of course, please send me in all of your questions. Write research@lifefarmglobal.com. Any questions, and especially for next time, we're going to be talking about digestive and immune and how all the products work together. So if you have any questions on those products, please send them in to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, this is all we have for tonight.